Welcome to the first episode of the Fee Compass Jam Sessions podcast. I'm Desmond Gardner, and I will be your host today. Today, I'm speaking to Axel Badrichani, Deputy Head of Unit in the European Commission's DG REGIO. Welcome, Axel, and thanks for joining us.
Hello, Des. Thank you for inviting me.
So, Axel, we're here today to discuss the Coronavirus Response Investment Initiative, or CRII. Under these measures, the Common Provisions Regulation has been amended. What's the rationale behind these changes?
The rationale behind the CRII and also the complementary package that we call CRII Plus is to allow using the unspent cohesion policy funds to provide immediate liquidity to member states in order, obviously, to respond to the health crisis and its social and economic impact. The flexibility, as you have probably noticed, that we have introduced for financial instrument is to contribute to this goal of providing immediate liquidity.
Indeed, we know, don't we, that financial instruments are close to businesses and entrepreneurs, so that should make them well placed to help support the economic response. What's your view of the needs of EU businesses at the moment?
SMEs, which are the most affected by the crisis, do need to have continued supply of affordable finance, in particular to cover their needs of working capital. We are doing quite a lot already with the close to 600 financial instruments that we have in Europe, with approximately 15 billion euro allocated to SME support, but more can be done.
So what do you think will be the immediate benefits of the CRII and CRIII Plus package? What feedback have you received from member states so far?
We have received very positive feedback, I must admit, on the flexibilities that we have introduced, in particular as regards the ex-ante assessments, and the fact that now it will not be necessary anymore to update them in case we modify an existing instrument. Also for new instruments, there we have a simplification because we do not request to have such a detailed ex-ante assessment. It can be a light one, building on the information which is available at the level of managing authorities. One of the other flexibility that is introduced and was particularly appreciated is the fact that we are not going to request supporting documents for working capital, so no need to justify the use for intended purpose. This is a big control simplification. So when we look at these two flexibilities, the ex-ante and the fact that you don't need to provide supporting documents such as business plan, we believe that we can set up a lot faster and a lot easier financial instrument.
And what are the other important measures in the package?
The other amendments which are particularly relevant is the fact that now we are giving the possibility to transfer resources between funds, between categories of regions, and also the fact that we are relaxing the co-financing requirements. So these three elements should ensure that sufficient resources could be allocated to the regions the most in need.
And the temporary framework for state aid, I think, is also going to be important.
Indeed, we have noticed that we had to be more flexible as regards state aid, and now with the state aid temporary framework, we can provide support up to 800,000 euro per entity, which could be combined with the support which is provided under de minimis. So in total, up to 1 million euro could be provided to an SME.
Axel, Fee Compass is also playing its part. We've produced a fact sheet on the use of financial instruments, and we have a Fee Compass webinar coming up on this topic. We've had a strong response with a large number of registrations through our website already. What should participants expect from the event?
Well, first, let me tell you that I'm looking forward to the webinar because for us, this is a new type of event, and we want to try to use these new approaches to respond to the current lockdown. We want to be able to explain in more details the flexibilities that have been introduced under CRII and CRIII Plus. And we want indeed to be able to answer practitioners' questions.
So what will be the format of the event? We know from Fee Campus and other events that participants really benefit from hearing from experts from the European Commission, as well, of course, as peer-to-peer exchange. And we've got an interesting case study from Slovakia.
Yes, indeed. We are going to have some Commission experts presenting in detail the new flexibilities. We are planning to have a panel also between the experts and some of the member states who did implement financial instruments. And we will also be joined by, as you have mentioned, the CEO of Slovakia Investment Holdings, because they have implemented a guarantee instrument in the last few weeks, which we find very interesting. And we want to share this with the audience.
Yes, it's a really interesting case study. They managed to implement very quickly. I think they went from the call to signing their first guarantee agreements within a month. So it will be good to hear from them. Okay, so now, Axel, for the last question, we'd like to know a bit more about you and your colleagues in the Commission. How are you impacted by the situation?
It has definitely changed our daily life. In fact, as an institution as a whole, the Commission, we had to adapt more quickly, or be more reactive, and embrace the new technologies. So now we are quite familiar with using video conferences and different IT tools.
Indeed, new skills for all of us, I think. And do you like working from home?
This is quite challenging, I must admit, especially when you have the kids at home. But it has also its advantages. Having said that, I'm looking forward to going back to the office and meet all colleagues.
Absolutely. I think we can all agree with that. Thanks a lot for your time today, Axel. I'm sure our listeners will find this interview both useful and interesting.
Thank you for inviting me, Des, and see you at the webinar.
Yes. Okay, so stay tuned for the next episode of the Fee Compass Jam Sessions. If you have any questions or want to suggest a new podcast topic, send us an email at info@feecompass.eu. More information is also available on our website. Have a good day, everybody.